What's up, Flat Earth family? Welcome to the podcast. It's great to have you here. This is episode, I don't know, man, 24 or something. I don't know. I'm kind of lost in it now. You'll know the title anyway. Bit of a different one tonight. Been thinking about something, bit of a deep one. Hopefully this isn't going to curveball you guys too much. You know what I mean? You know me. I'm a deep kind of guy. Anyway, before we get into it, if you want to know anything more about the podcast, please check out theflatearthpodcast.com. There you'll find a whole bunch of stuff, previous episodes, blog, more information about me, pictures of my beautiful face, and also a little PayPal button. If you want to give any proceeds donated will help to develop the channel and also other channels. Pretty soon we'll be dropping a whole other channel, which isn't the Flat Earth podcast. It isn't guests and the Project 1046 thing we're doing, but launching a whole other channel. It's going to be called the ABC of EDC, and we're going to be just testing and reviewing all EDC equipment. That's everyday carry. If you don't know the kind of the saying there, that's watches, tools, jewelry, tech. Got some great stuff coming up on that channel, so that'll be launching soon. You'll find out more about that, and we'll link to that in the show notes and through the website and stuff like that. But yeah, basically, if you give to this channel, that will help feed all the other stuff that we are going to develop and do. Anyway, one other thing. If you are watching on YouTube, would you take a moment, please? It would really help me. Be a real good solid for me if you can like and press the little subscribe button and press the little bell icon and select all. That way you get an update on all the different video content that we put up. Yeah, a bit of a maybe a left field video this, and I've got no notes. The phone is like gone. We don't have anything. We're free balling here, and I don't even know why I really want to talk about this. I guess I was thinking about an early situation in my life from when I was quite young. I was 19. I might have been 20, somewhere in there. I know I was driving a car because that's part of the story, and I didn't learn to drive till I was 19. My dad drove a black London taxi cab, so there was no family car. So at 17, when all my friends learned to drive, I didn't bother. Why bother until I could afford a car? There was like literally no point in doing it. Anyway, what I want to talk to you about is suicide, and also I guess maybe depression, or certainly melancholy. I find the word melancholy a more accessible word than depression for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, I'll tell you the story. So when I was, like I say, 19, it might have been 20. I'd left school years before, and I was doing various jobs, and I'd have menial kind of manual labour jobs, and I was in between one job and another. And so I went for this job in Tottenham, right? Just off of White Hart Lane, just off of the High Street anyway. So I went for this job. It was in a light bulb factory, or a factory that produced various light bulb products, lighting products, and went there, had the interview with like the manager, and it went really well, and it was like we shook hands, and I was trying my best, 19, 20, not really understanding the world, but trying to sort of man up and get a job, and agreed like, oh, okay, brilliant, you can start Monday. This was like a Thursday or something. I was like, brilliant, that's great, I'll start. That'll get my family off my back. I can get some money again, because I've been doing sort of agency work, temporary work, on and off. And Monday came round, jumped in the car, started driving over to Tottenham, and just for some reason, I couldn't face the day at work. I was like, and this is first day at work, first day, like the important, get there, make an impression, arrive a little bit early, graft, learn as much as you can. Because that when you first get a job, you're the new guy. You don't know where anything is. You don't know where the freaking toilets are. You just don't know where the entrances and exits are. You just know nothing. You don't understand the people, who are the jokers, who are the serious people, who is actually your boss, who's the real boss in the place. You know nothing. You're green as all hell. It's horrible, but it's got to be endured. And so I'm driving over there, and I just get, like I say, I'm not up for it. I'm just like, nah. I don't want to work. And I got to a crunch point. I was crossing over from the High Street at Edmonton, where the if you know this part of the world, the A406 meets the high road of Edmonton. I think it's high road, I don't know, it's a long time ago. Crossing over the road to turn left down Brentwood Avenue and around that area, if you know it, and to go to work. And I just got to the A406 and I went, I'm not doing it. And instead of going straight over and left onto the industrial estate where the business was, I turned left onto the A406, it's one of the kind of main arteries around London, and I just went to the beach. I just went to the seaside, man. I just drove, I don't know how many miles, 50 miles? What is it, 50? I don't know how many miles it is from like that part of London to like Southend or whatever, but I just drove and I just spent the day by the sea. I guess I had a little bit of money. I had a card. Like I say, we'd not had a family card, not grown up with that. So when I got a card, the taste of freedom was brilliant. And I just spent the day not at work. And this was a long time ago. Do you know what I mean? This was a long time ago. So this is before mobile phones. So people wouldn't be able to get you like they can get you now. Do you know what I mean? Once you were out, you were kind of out for the day, and that was it. So I'm doing my thing, man. I'm like, I head off to the beach for the day, but I do come home in time as if I've been at work, so my parents don't give me any grief over it, you know. So I do that, and I think, oh, that was a bad move, man. That was a dumb move. I don't know what's going over me, man. But I had this melancholy on me, this kind of heaviness on me. So next day, Tuesday, I start to drive over to work, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to make some excuses. This is really awkward. Like, why did I miss the first day? I'm not an unreliable. I was raised by my parents not to be unreliable, to be honest and tell people where you stand and what you want to do. So the next day, I'm driving over, and I get to the A406, and I just say, nah, bruv, I'm going to seaside. I've always loved the sea. The sea is one of my little spots, man. Not little spots. It's the fucking sea. It's huge. But I just drove. I was just like, I can't face work today. This carried on for 4 days. I didn't go to the seaside every day. I think after the first couple of days, I just drove around a bit. I went to the cinema. I just went and got some food. But I just couldn't face that part of my life and didn't want to talk to anyone about it and became very heavy and very low. To the point where one evening after work, I think I came home, and I think work had actually phoned my home where I was living with my parents, like I was still young and living at and I think somehow my parents asked me about it, at which point I freaked out and just left the house, jumped in the car and go, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to deal with this, whatever this is. And I just drove. And I remember being overwhelmed with sadness or darkness, or I call it melancholy, like I say, melancholy, just something, just maudlin. And I remember just drove around a bit, but I remember like driving and thinking, I'm going to drive my car into a fucking tree. And I would do it. I would drive, let's not get twisted. I won't drive in a Ferrari or a Porsche, right? This is not that scene. I'm not a Hollywood movie star. I'm driving a 1986 Ford Fiesta Holiday. It's got a 1.1 litre engine. It had like half a brake horsepower. The thing was so bad. I bought this thing for like a lot of money on recommendation of my dad, off a Jewish taxi driver, which sounds racist, but it's not. It's just a statement of fact that something was definitely going to be up, if you know taxi drivers, do you know what I mean? In its first MOT, this car, they needed to re-weld the entire floor pan. It was just a nightmare. Anyway, so I'm in this car and I'm just like, oh, I'm going to crash into a tree. So I'm driving as fast and as hard as I can towards trees, which isn't right, probably very fast. But then just at the moment, just like not doing it. But I had it in my head. I honestly had it in my head. I want to hurt myself. I don't know why. Whatever it was that had me ditch work and ditch my pattern and not want to talk about it was the same thing that was leading me to like furious anger at myself or life or something. And it was gnarly, man. It was gnarly to the point where I still do. I had a knife on me. I used to carry a knife from a young age. I found a knife, a really cool knife. I had it in the car. I don't know why, but at a certain point, I pulled over somewhere like, I don't know, Cuffley Way, or you don't know where Cuffley is, but basically a forested, darker country lane sort of. Where I pulled my car over somewhere down a country lane where no one else was going to be, and I got this knife out. Let's imagine this is the knife, right? So imagine I took the knife out of the side pocket of the car door, and I held the knife to my wrist, and I looked down and I thought to myself, I'm going to slice my wrist. And I had no reason to do that. I had no real intention to do it, in the sense of like any logical kind of like, thought through understanding of what I was doing. Just had this weird, I don't know what it was, but something happened to me. It was like the extreme nature of the moment took me out of it just long enough to go like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing this? And I kind of came to, if you like, and just stopped, put the knife back in the car, and slowly drove back home. When I got home, my mum was there, my dad was at work. My dad used to work nights, so we wouldn't see him, from early to late afternoon till the following morning or whatever, So dad wasn't around, but sister was there, mum was there. Walked in, and as I walked in, I just burst into tears. It just came out of me, and I told them about work, and I told them that I just was going to drive my car into a tree. I told them I took a knife out and I felt like I was going to cut my wrist, and it must have broke my mum's heart. I can't remember her reaction, but I do remember my sister's reaction. My sister's reaction was to go, I can't remember exactly what she said in the first incident, but then she said, sod it. I need a brother more than I need a job. I'm taking a day off work tomorrow. We're going to Alton Towers. Now, I don't know. She lost her job. Maybe my slackness with my new job not going, maybe ended up with her losing her job. I don't know. These things weren't important to me at the time, and I don't remember. I'll have to ask her. But the next day, I drove and we went to Alton Towers, and we had a great day, and it was fun, and we went on rides and stuff, and it was brilliant, But the reason I wanted to bring this up is because I'm not a person, or at least I didn't think I was a person prone to depression or prone to that kind of darkness or intensity. I'm always quite light. I like to look on the bright side of everything. I like to bring hope to situations. I don't like to admit defeat and admit that things are insurmountable. And but I think the more as I've got to know myself, I've never returned to a situation where I want to drive my car into a tree, and I'm surrounded with knives and swords now. Never once thought I want to do anything to harm myself. But I have experienced times through my life of what I would call episodes of like quite deep melancholy. And I think I've learned something about myself. And for me personally, with my position, I think I've learned how I deal with it. But as I've grown, I have in my life had people who haven't known how to deal with it, and it has led to suicide. I've lost people because of that darkness, because of that weird, intense sensation that falls on people sometimes. But it's interesting. I don't know what would happen if I'd successfully crashed my car. I don't know what would happen if I'd actually cut my wrist. Probably not a lot. The knife wasn't that sharp. I probably would have got bored sawing at it, and just given up and gone home. But I know, man. And I think in my life, what I've learned, and I guess I want to offer maybe some small part of advice, but really my main advice is if you're suffering from this, firstly, number one, do not fucking do it. Do not go all the way. And secondly, to try and talk to someone and get some help. For me, I've learned that I do have episodes of melancholy. So what I do, I've learned the nuance of entertaining just enough of it. I listen to a sad song. I look at some old photos. I reminisce on good and bad things in my life. I allow melancholy to be one of the passengers on my ship, but never the captain. And every now and then he gets to walk around the galley a little bit and sell his wares. But he doesn't decide the direction of the ship, the destination, the speed, the pitch, all that stuff. And I don't know if I'm skilled at that or just lucky that I am a more light person, that I've had more good experiences in my life and more enjoyable experiences than I've had dark ones, that I'm able to pull up from that stuff. But I think I've learned to do it. But in my life also, I've seen people who've not been able to do it. And the thing about suicide in particular is just how devastating it is, and just how you can never take it back. And I'm pretty certain that if it was possible for someone within the act of actually doing it to somehow step out and see what is about to happen next when they go through with it, the loss and the pain they would cause, and if they were able to zoom out of their life and just see how small these problems are that have filled up their vision, they would change. But it's such a definite thing when you do it. And I'm going to put a number somewhere on the screen or somewhere at the end of the video, somewhere in the show notes, Samaritans, I don't know, whatever. So you can get help if this is something that helps you, or if this video is something you can pass to someone else, man. Before this bullshit pandemic started, I think it was something like 79 or 84, somewhere in that region, 70 to 80 men every month in the UK were killing themselves. More women attempt suicide, more men are successful. That's how the stats basically break down. This isn't a man-only thing, but we rule the game as far as successful suicide attempts. Well, they're not attempts, are they, if you do it? It's a problem. And I think once we see the stats of depression and mental health and disorder, once we see these last 2 years, the momentum of them work its way out into the future, I think we'll realise how hard it's been for some very particular people in this last season. And I don't know why, like I say, I don't know why this was on my mind to talk about, but it was, and this is probably like awkward, right? I don't know, man. There's some skill in it, and I don't understand all the nooks and crannies of it, and I don't understand the full pros and cons of medication and counselling and all that stuff. But one thing I do know, life is precious. You get one whirl at this part of it. I'm a Christian. I met Jesus when I was 17, filled with life and hope, and still at 19, 20, I was in that dark place. But, you know, my faith has helped me through these moments. And I believe in an afterlife. I believe there's more than just this first part. But we do get to play this first part once, whether you're a Christian or not. You get to play this first part once. And we're not meant to end this part for anyone else. And we're not meant to end this part for us on purpose, right? We're not meant to. It's not good. It's not healthy. You know, sometimes even small things can fill up your whole view. And I think sometimes that's what happens in these moments where you get a sense of, like, watch this. Like, here's my thumb, right? You see my thumb? Right, let's do this thumb. You see this thumb, right? It's very small. It can't hurt you. It doesn't mean nothing to you. But look what happens, right? Check this out. You see it gets a bit bigger. And the more you entertain something, the more it begins to fill your space, until eventually, check this out, it fills the whole thing up. This, to me, is a very, very silly picture of how a problem Even small things in your life, when they're concentrated on and when they consume you, can go from being small things, a bit of money problems, a bit of relational problems, horrible upbringing stuff, physical abuse, mental abuse, whatever it is. They can be little, I don't mean to belittle it, they can be smaller than they should be, but then all of a sudden, if we fixate on them and various things happen, they become larger and larger and larger and larger, and eventually you're just overcome by this thing, and it just, boom, takes up the whole of your screen. And you need something that snaps you out and allows you to just go, oh, it's not as big as I thought. I'm going to keep talking myself in circles and show my inability to really understand this topic if I carry on anymore. But I don't know why. I just felt like I should share this, man. And if this helps even one of you, I'm fucking chuffed. Do you know what I mean? If you're feeling this way, right? Don't give in to the demands of darkness. Don't harm yourself. Don't do it. Don't do something you can't take back and that will affect your family, your wife, your husband, your children. Don't do it. Get help. Ask for help. Talk to someone. I am so lucky. I'm so fortunate. I have a group of friends, particularly one group of men in my life who have become that thing that it fills up the space in front of my eyes. And but these are people of hope, and they speak like life into me. And I don't know, at times when I do still get caught in melancholy, right? If I didn't have other friends who invested in me and who I invested in, I don't know how well I would do. But I have them, and I'm fortunate, and I'm able to kind of like lift my head up. I'm going to write a little blog thing on this in the next couple of days and put it on the website, kind of crystallize my thoughts a little bit more. But I hope this has been helpful. I hope this hasn't been a depression fest for you. I hope you were like, not like, well, I was doing well, Rick, but I've listened to this, I kind of like, this is not good, man. This sent me down. That's not my idea. My idea is that you're loved, you're cherished, that you bring value. Even if you don't feel like you bring value now, you can bring value. You can turn stuff around. You can add flavor to not only your life, but other people's lives. So don't do anything too drastic. I know, people. Check out the numbers and the emails and stuff I throw on the end of this. Get some help. Bless you guys. Hold on. Hang in there. Things are not as bad as you think. There is always hope. Whenever there's hopelessness, there's a lie in operation, okay? Your life is not hopeless. Bless you guys. Thanks for listening. This has been the Flat Earth Podcast. I've been Rick Flat, as ever, your host. And I will see you, I guess, Friday for the weigh-ins. And Tuesday for check-in. And next Thursday again for podcast. Later. Bless.